Good morning, everybody. We made it to Edinburgh, and we are doing something we don't normally do. We're just gonna get on the tender, take a public bus into town, and see where the day takes us. So follow along on our journey today, and we'll check back in with you in a little bit.
So your day in Edinburgh begins with a tender ride into South Queensferry, and you go underneath the Forth Bridge. This bridge was constructed in 1890 and allows about 190 to 200 trains per day to travel across it and bring goods from South Queensferry into North Queensferry, and is located about 8 miles from the town of Edinburgh.
We just got off the shuttle, sailed under the bridge. Really great views. The Regal Princess is back there in the background. And we're headed over to the public buses to... Actually, Shannon said she wanted to walk around the town a little bit. So we'll walk the town and then check back in with you. Good morning.
They have lots of messy stuff.
And some dog stuff too.
Yeah.
I have a feeling this is going to be a good part of my day.
No.
I don't know if we can. Yes.
Do you want to come into the garden?
Oh, sure, that'd be great.
The gate's there.
Oh, thank you.
Just push it away from you.
Thank you.
You might be able to see it from up there. It looks like it's on the other side of that wall. Thank you.
But there's a beautiful mosaic up there.
Yeah, just take the path. Good morning.
Look at that.
All right, so we just got off the shuttle. It is 10:49 a.m. and we're headed over to where we're supposed to do our Harry Potter tour.
The old town. The old medieval town.
And we're gonna go by, try and get into the gift shop before, but do a little bit of walking and sightseeing on the way over to where we're headed. So we're now at the officially licensed Harry Potter gift store, waiting in line, and it was a little bit trying to figure out where it was at. It is on Victoria Street, and what it tried to do was put us up top above the actual building where we needed to go, but it is down on Victoria Street, and we should be able to get in here in a minute. Give you a little tour when we actually get inside. What's that? I've been to the fake one,
Yeah.
the 9 3/4 fake one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
Nothing up here. Because that says staff only.
The housewife competition is going to be vicious and fierce. We've got some serious nerds in the group today, so I'm delighted about that. My name's Christine. I'm going to be your guide today. We are going to be wandering around the graveyard to start off with, just through that scaffolding there. We're going to go to the Greyfriars Kirkyard. Then we're going to see all of the graves, all of the buildings that sort of magically appeared in the Hogwarts books. Then we're going to wander out into Old Town. We'll do a bit of a loop around the Old Town, find a couple places where the author used to write, and then your treat at the end is we are going to visit the real life Diagon Alley. Can I get a ooh? Can I get an ah? Can I get a Wingardium Leviosa? Yes! Oh, good job, you guys. This is going to be a fun time. Now, we are also going to be learning our very own magic spell on this tour. So, if you have anything you can use as a wand, halfway through the tour, I'm going to ask you to get that out. Anything you've got at all. A lipstick, a vape, a selfie stick, a small child. If you can lift it, you can wand it. That is our motto at the Potter Trail, so get creative. I'm going to be thinking of when she imagined the scene where Harry and Cedric ended up in a graveyard after they grabbed onto the cup at the end of the Triwizard Tournament.
Excuse me.
And it brought them to here. Now, there's a couple of reasons why we are so sure that it's this graveyard. Number one, the grave of Voldemort's father. That is here. We have the name and everything. The other thing we know is that while the author was writing the fourth book, she was sat in a cafe called the Elephant House Cafe, which is just along this wall here. It had a window that looked out over this graveyard, so she was staring at it the whole time she was writing those scenes. And finally, a year before they made the fourth film, the producers came up to Edinburgh and they asked the guy who runs the graveyard if they could have a tour of all the details, the really niche stuff. He told us it lasted 3 hours. They wanted every single detail. It was the longest tour he'd ever given in his life. So we are adamant that this is the graveyard she had in mind for that scene. All right, folks, this is the one we're going to have a look at. Has anybody spotted the magical name? You're already taking a picture of it. Which one did you see? Baird and Moody. Baird and Moody. Congratulations. Yes. Moody, 10 house points going to which house? Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff are getting 10 house points. You guys, behind me we have the grave of Mrs. Elizabeth Moody, and this is the namesake for Professor Mad Eye Moody, right? Our famous aura who's filled half the cells in Azkaban. So Moody is a great name for him to have because he is quite moody. This is something that the author loves to do with her character names. She wants to tell you a little something about their personality before they even open their mouths. So we changed the spelling a little bit to make that the word moody. She did say she loved walking around this graveyard because the names on the stones sounded so old-fashioned you could imagine them being witches and wizards easily. So she did pilfer quite a few from here. But yeah, this theme of wanting the name to tell you something about their personality is all over these books. So my real test of eyesight and pronunciation. So I'm going to say 20 house points if anybody can spot the magical name on this stone here or the one on the right there. There's the same last name repeated a couple times, and this is our next one. I think you've got it. Which one is it? Yeah, it's close enough. Well done. 20 house points for which house? Hufflepuff are getting 20 house points, you guys. Yeah! All right, we've arrived at the grave of multiple Scrimgeours here. So this is why Rufus Scrimgeour got his name. The Scrimgeours are a clan from Fife, and they do spell their name about 12 different ways in the census records. This is the way she decided to spell it, so I think she saw this one. And this name is absolutely perfect for the meaning as well. So Rufus Scrimgeour, he's in charge of bringing all the things that Dumbledore left behind for Harry, Ron, and Hermione. We've arrived here at the Slytherin's favourite grave. We have the grave of not just one Thomas Riddle, we have 2 Thomas Riddles buried here. So, This is Voldemort's father, and this is his grandfather. Just as it's described in the book, Harry and Cedric arrive at this grave, and they see the ancestors, the Muggle ancestors that Voldemort is so ashamed of, the name Tom Riddle repeated twice. Now, the Riddles of Edinburgh match the book riddles very well because they're incredibly wealthy, and that does seem to be the only information we're given about the riddles in the books. The Riddles in Edinburgh, they owned Riddle's Court on the Royal Mile, which is a very fancy house on the fanciest street in Edinburgh. So yeah, they were doing very well for themselves. They do, however, spell their name slightly differently. It's Riddell rather than Riddle. So maybe this is that thing again of wanting the name to have a bit of symbolism to it, to tell you a little something about the person. Voldemort is a bit of a puzzle, he's a bit of a riddle, he doesn't really tell even his closest followers what he has planned. The reason we've stopped here is because we think we have traced the origins for the man, the real man, Burke, who inspired that name. He is a notorious dark wizard in Edinburgh. So we're going to talk a little bit about his story and why there are these weird cages in Edinburgh, in the graveyards. So, in Edinburgh in the 1700s and 1800s, we had the best surgery school in the world. People would come from all over to learn how to chop up bodies to fix them. And people came here to learn, and they needed a lot of bodies to practice on. Now, back then, nobody wanted to donate their body to science. They were very concerned that if they were in multiple bits, they wouldn't get into heaven. So no one is leaving their body to science at the end of their lives, and they have a bit of a supply and demand issue. So the surgery school sets up a system, which is basically, if you turn up to their back door in the middle of the night with a body, they will take that body from you, give you a wad of cash, and ask you 0 questions about where you got that body. So basically, there's these guys known nicely as the resurrection men who hang around these graveyards. They wait until the funeral's over, and then they get their shovels out and they just start digging and they try and get the bodies out. That's the measures that Edinburgh residents took. Basically, these big cages, they're called mort safes. You would rent it from the graveyard and you would put it over your grave to protect you from being dug up until you weren't useful anymore, and then it would go on to somebody else.
Okay, so we just finished the Harry Potter walk and talk tour. What'd you think?
I thought it was very entertaining. I'm not a Harry Potter nerd, although I do love the author and enjoy the movies, and I used to read the books to Nick when he was little. So it was fun.
Yeah, it was nice to see some of the spots that some of the book content came from. But yeah, we are headed over to grab a sandwich from a sandwich shop that's supposed to be pretty good, and then maybe head over to the Scottish Military Museum. So we'll check back in with you in a little bit. Alright, so we made it over to the National Museum of Scotland. And we're going to do a quick tour, and we'll check back in with you in a minute.
That's from 1650.
It's a long time ago.
Charles I miniature set in a pendant. So like they had lockets way back in the day.
Oh, a guillotine? Tombstones.
why don't we take the lift up to the terrace and then we can go?
This museum is huge.
I thought they had a Viking ship.
With our love for architecture, we came across the Sir Walter Scott Monument. It's considered to be constructed under the Victorian Goth style. It is actually probably one of the most breathtaking things that we saw on this trip. It's constructed in sandstone, and it has spiral staircases that take you up to a platform, give you views of the downtown for 360 degrees. Unfortunately, we weren't able to tour it, but as you can see, Shannon really enjoyed this piece as I did. For dinner, my appetizer was the minestrone soup. Shannon got the mozzarella. She ended up getting the pizza Tarantina, which has mussels and bay shrimp. And I ended up getting the caprese and had them add some pepperoni to mine.
Alright, so I'm headed over to the gelato to get one of the specialty desserts for the Princess Plus package. I'll probably get it with alcohol tonight, but yeah, come along with me. I'll show you what the dessert is and how they make it. Alright everybody, I ended up getting the Lake Como, so it's got chocolate, strawberries, marshmallows, some candy, and then it's also got vanilla gelato and chocolate gelato in it. And then the outside of the cup is a dipped chocolate. It's a glass, but it's dipped in chocolate and sprinkles. So I'll let you know when I'm done with it how it is. But decided not to get the alcohol. I'm gonna go and have a couple of drinks while I'm gambling. So I'll check back in with you in a little bit. Alright, so it ended up being really good ice cream. Definitely worth taking the time to grab it. It's too bad that the cup is chilled because you can't get any of that chocolate off unless you let it sit for a few minutes. But alright, I'm going to go have a couple drinks and partake in some testing of the fates. So we'll talk to you in a little bit. Hey everybody, got back on the ship. We went and had Alfredo's. Then we went over to the casino bar, had a couple of drinks at the casino bar, called it a night. For the most part, I ended up gambling a couple $100, and testing the fates tonight was not like it was last night. Some of the guys I was playing with were playing half hour, 45 minutes before I showed up, and ended up walking away about 10 or 15 minutes after I showed up, which is not necessarily a good thing because ended up losing that $200. So yeah, we are on a sea day tomorrow, so join us for that as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will talk to you in the morning. Thanks for watching.